Good morning, or grand rising, as people like to say these days. Okela woke up this morning with a very clear sense of having to focus on what we might call first contact, which is coming soon. Although it's not really first contact, it's mass contact, or it's a first contact of its kind. We're in a very strange place, aren't we? Regarding truth and lies and who people follow and who people believe and all the information, so much information coming from all directions. And I was in that trap, strangely enough, even though I absolutely 100% fully was on it was the Palladian train to start, wasn't it? We sort of graduated a bit. No offense to the Palladians. They're our closest fam, our closest cousins. The Pleiades are six-dimensional beings who are, what's the word? Not so far in the future as, say, Syrians and the Arcturians. I think that's correct. I'm sure I will receive a message if it's not. Although I'm going to share very quickly in a short while, and this is a short video, what happened to me yesterday as yet another coincidence of confirmation. Right, so this video is actually about me fully committing to who I am and why I'm here and what my purpose is. So yeah, we're being bombarded with tons of information about the elections in America and this prime minister and that person and Hollywood and the children and the dumbs and the medical tyranny and the list is endless, right? We're in a right old mess, aren't we, on planet Earth? And I talk to so many people, like I really do put myself out there, primarily because I've been blocked, banned, and deleted on everything since before the shizzle show started. And you got to ask why. Why was I being shadow banned 15, 20 years ago? But it seems to me now, especially since the eclipse, and I wasn't anchored on the eclipse. To me, it just came and went. I didn't see it. I didn't really care about it. I heard loads of people talk about it, but I have to say, since January, the beginning of January, actually, no, since December the 27th, and Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day were really dark for me. I was on my own. Didn't receive any messages on Christmas Day itself, which, I was in victim mode about. And sorry, I'm trying to keep the old thread in my head whilst I'm digressing. But it was the 3 dark days. But something happened, something changed, and bit by bit, incrementally, it's like as if there was like chains were broken. And it took a while for us to realize that when we were thrashing around, the chains were a bit looser. We just managed to inch further and further away until we suddenly realized, oh, hold on a minute. There's no chains on me anymore. I'm free to go. I'm free to do whatever I want, be whoever I want to be. So here I am being whoever I want to be, which is Commander damashimi Narakima. Bit of a mouthful. Just call me Dash or or Shimmy, Shimmy, Shimmy Dash. Anyway, so it seems to me there is one place to focus where you're not going to be let down, where nobody can dupe you. Well, they can, and there's a word on that at the end, a bit of a warning about that because it happened to me. But it's if you are to start to make a concerted effort to make contact with your family. Now, this isn't a message for everybody that's listening because There's a lot of Earth Terrans who are absolutely equal to star seeds. It doesn't mean like that star seeds are better and it's all relative. It's all relative up to where you are. You know, yesterday I had this idea of speaking about perfection, the notion of perfection. Like there is no such thing as perfection. Because if there was, my first question would be, well, define perfection. And from whose point of view are you defining that? And if there are more than two people observing the same perfect thing, unless they come into an agreement, it can't really be objectively perfect, can it ever? Because you've got two different points of view coming from two different places, and who's to say which is right? So we've got to get over this idea of perfection, and it's more about authenticity. It's about the strength of your frequency and your vibration, the consistency of it. This is how we communicate, and this is how we perceive the world. Everything in itself is perfect and beautiful and serves a purpose, right? Even the haters and the dark actors in this play are to be applauded at the end. You know, all these dark people are going to come in into stage and they're going to be in the middle, applauded for, you know, choosing to hold the space to push us very, very far. Now, you know, I am a survivor of a certain type of ritual abuse done in a specific kind of way, where I wasn't so much physically harmed as mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And it was an ongoing process with technology that would trigger other people. And so if I can sit here and forgive and forget and see the whole bigger picture for what it really is, then anyone can. And, you know, this is what I'm here to share. And the reason I want to share this, the reason I'm so compelled and so passionate, and the reason it's really hurt my heart and my soul and all of me to have been so shunned and ignored and shut down and belittled and over the past 4 years especially, is because I know that you know, the whole narrative distraction and the truthers with their followers and their crypto conversations and their channels, and with an exception, Richard Vobes in England and Ishmael Perez in America, both doing two very different jobs. They're the only two channels that I bother to look at anymore. The rest have just faded into oblivion, a distant memory of bullshit and doom, especially the ones who appear to be speaking the truth about all this. Master doomers. Anyway, so we've got all this information coming in, and it just seems like, you know, the only thing that we can focus on is where we're headed, right? Where we've been, who we are, and where we're going, and how are we going to get there, right? So I'm working on it. I'm not there, but I don't suppose we're supposed to be there just yet. So I'm not here to be saying, oh, look at me. I keep saying this because I genuinely just don't want people to feel intimidated, or, you know, it's so easy at this time of where there's so much of a survival energy kicking around, right? And has been since the 2020 March doomsday BS psyop started, right? Which is all about distracting us so that we don't know what's really going on behind the scenes, which is that our planet is part of a galactic multiverse, a cosmic multiverse, right? And granted, we're a tiny speck in the whole grand scheme of things, but it's a very important speck. And what's going on here is everything. It's everything. Nothing has ever, 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 or will ever, ever, ever happen in this realm on planet Earth that's as important as right now. And the thing about right now is you need every single ounce of your concentration, your will, your being present in the moment to ascend, right? Or to take part in the Great Awakening. The problem is with all the distraction and the bullshit and the psychological operations which have been going on for everybody for all of their lives, unless you were born in, I don't know, 1700s and you lived in a little farm somewhere and miracles were occurring, which are basically just normal things that we were used to before the matrix started to kind of clamp down and erase our natural, sacred, geometric, harmonious ways of living with the stars and the rivers and the birds and the creatures, and everything was just one harmonious, magical symphony. We now call it synchronicities, and these things, which I'm going to share in a minute. I was laughing and crying so much yesterday when this happened. But it was just proof that this is real. And so I'm here to stand up and say I am, hopefully. I'm sure they'll let me know if I'm not. An apprentice, let's say, of the office of the Christ, which is being anchored on earth right now. And in fact, it's already been anchored when our brother Yeshua Sananda came here to anchor it 2000 years ago. We are the second coming. Those of us who remember, those of us who have compassion, kindness, and who live our lives really for other people to a fault. Well, not no more, baby. Not no more. I don't know why I keep saying baby lately. It's a kind of a weird thing, isn't it? That one of those CIA, you know, words that came in for us to use that actually are a bit silly. Look at this reflection of the morning. And that's my crochet. The morning sun, I'll show you in a second. There's a bit going out, but I want to finish this message. So, yeah, so we're being bombarded with all the wrong information. And the information we really need is the information that's going to allow us to access the inner workings of each individual. And you can learn so much. You can gain so much information about this online through other people, through talking, through books and videos, which I will be sharing, and I'll be giving you lots of exercises and little stories and stuff. The only way you're ever going to know is doing the work yourself. And it's painful, and it's hard, and it's lonely, and it's kind of terrifying at times. But, a bunch of us have done it already and are here to assist and here to hold hands a little bit. But, I keep using this metaphor of the spiritual marathon. And literally, just the way you couldn't ask someone else to run a marathon for you and get you over the finish line and actually receive a medal, it's the same in the spiritual marathon. There's a point at which we have to all take a deep breath and go under and see who we really are, what we really need to change. We need to honestly look at what we've done wrong, who we've harmed, even just gossiping. In fact, the worst thing is to defame and gossip. And I say that not just as someone who has been incredibly defamed by English media, Malaysian media, 22 years apart, 23 years apart. But also as someone who has been a gossiper, who, I lived in a pit of snakes in Malaysia, although I should say just misguided souls. But these women were horrific. I mean, the way they talked about people, the way they put people down. And I know that this is just a common theme, and it comes from insecurity, comes from fear, comes from being threatened by a light, that's shining something and making your soul stir and feel a bit uncomfortable because perhaps you're not living your life authentically, or you're not really being a decent human being. I mean, that's all that's required, really. So yeah, we've got all this information that's, knocking around, and the real information is how to go within. And that's what's being hidden. And we have a ton of truthers talking shit, non-stop shit, but they're not really going into, okay, look, how do we go within? How do we, actually, sorry, let me just go. They're not talking shit. They all serve a purpose. And I used to listen to that shit, and it is important. And I guess we're all just at different levels. So I apologize and I take that back just because they knocked me back when I got in touch with them. It wasn't the right time. Love them all. But what I mean is, there are some truthers talking shit though, and there are some that are not. Um, it's ultimately it's about you, which is why, now that I feel like I'm finding my voice, I know I've still got something lurking in my throat chakra in the energetic fields around me that needs to be removed. I just have to locate it, and I need assistance to do that because it's pretty big and gnarly. So, or I could wait another year and it would be gone by then, but I'd rather speed it up. But it's definitely less. So I just feel like, for me, I just want to speak my truth now, because speaking my truth, it's coming from somewhere else. It's me connecting to my higher self, let's say, which is definitely anchored in some amazing light. And so let me just show you this. Sorry, I know people don't like it sometimes when people do this because it seems not professional, but don't have a zoom. I also am not able to, oops, play around with this. Oh, look, it's making an ascension image. That's so cool. Quite often when you're doing these, if you actually put the sun in a corner so that there's only a bit of it, see, look what's happening. You'll get more interesting effects. Like, what's that? See those lines? Hey, that's enough of that. I just wanted to share the beauty. My soul brought me here. I'm so grateful. And this is where I grew up, well, kind of 20 miles away. But I used to drive around these lanes as a teenager who was a bit of a speed demon. I think I've always thought my car was my spaceship. I've always loved driving. Got my advanced driving certificate with the police when I was about 24, 25. Still love driving. It's freedom to me. Anyway, so before the sun interrupted, but we do like that interruption. Yeah, so I've decided that I'd rather listen to what I'm channeling than other people. And that's just a sign that I'm finally coming into a space of respecting myself as much as I respect other people. Because if you don't respect yourself, why would you want to listen to yourself? Why would you give any time and effort to your own messages, right? So I'm listening to the messages. I actually also yesterday started reading something that was sent to me called Bringers of the Dawn, which is a channeled message from the Pleiades, which somebody had received the day after I had a conversation with Lyra, this beautiful star blossom who is Crystal Queen, who we're going to meet soon. And she said, oh, it's kind of weird that this Pleiades book turned up when you had just mentioned it. And I think I have to start giving credit to a team that's around me, a team I'm connected to, who are actually giving me these messages. My higher self is definitely connected. I wake up every morning with very profound messages, and sometimes I get and write them out and write blog posts. I've got an itchy nose, excuse me. And sometimes I don't, and the message fades as I kind of end up in the 3D matrix, as I fully immerse myself in the 3D matrix every morning, the message will fade. So the message I got this morning, and it's now 5 something in the morning, was to let people know that the most important information is that which takes you to yourself. And the only way you're going to get there is by switching off from the matrix. I mean, look, I'm always losing my phone because I don't have it with me, right? I'll do things, I use it to pay for things. I know, sorry, I'm having to live on AI donations at the moment. There's no cash. I'm always losing my phone because I'm not scrolling and I'm not interested in what's going on. I watch documentaries, I check out, like I said, a couple of people. And there's a few people now showing up in my realm who, I want to connect with. And I want to create content. I don't want to passively receive it. This is such a kind of a metaphor of where we're at. It's about we've got to stop being bystanders and receivers of a script, right? We've got to stop being actors in a script. It's time to write the script and own the script and build the set and audition the characters that are going to be in your play, in your story. Well, and also, what story do you want to tell? I know what my story is, and it's an amazing story of integration back into the galactic realms from whence we came. It's a story of us going back to who we truly are and who we were always meant to be before we got a little bit hijacked, or before the game just went a little bit wrong and a rescue mission had to be implemented, which the culmination of this rescue mission could only really happen at this exact moment now. And if you go and have a look at Ismael Perez's book, which is currently at the bottom of a pile, but not intentionally, although I did just finish reading it. So if you go and read this, it's talking about, this mission of us, of the ascension mission, and, who we really are and where we really come from and what's really going on, and our 22 strands of DNA in the awakened humans on the planet right now, which is basically a culmination of all the royal lineages. Now, this shit is real. It's a true story. It's real. And the thing is, not everybody's in the office of Christ. Not everybody's a Pleiadian. Not everyone's an Arcturian. Not everybody's an elf from inner earth. There's an infinite number of beings who are here at this time to assist. Just because you're housed in a physical vessel that looks human means nothing, okay? Once you realize that you're nothing, you can be anything. So, I'm here to officially introduce myself as Commander Damashimi Narakima. I am here representing the Office of the Christ, which is connected to the Great White Brotherhood Sisterhood, the same kind of crew as my brother, Saint Germain. I'm sure many of you who are listening to this know Saint Germain. Brother, Jesus, or Yeshua Sananda, Mary Magdalene. And look, I'm not saying I am Jesus, I am the second coming. I am one member, a very specifically unique and very young member, but an old soul here, but a young member of that crew. So yeah, we're here and we are here to assist. Nothing is the way it appears, and everything is about you. It's all about you. You are me. I am you. We are one. And I know it sounds woo-woo and it sounds cliche and it almost makes you want to go, ooh, ooh. But that's not you. That's the program. That's the ego. That's the artificial intelligence version of you that doesn't want to die, that doesn't realize it's game over. It's game over. The rescue mission is underway. Souls are being retrieved. And we are here pulling our fragmented souls together so that we can get out of here. Not in spaceships. You get out in your vessel, okay? It's all about a state of being. It's all about your energy, your frequency, and your vibration. Everything. That's how we get out. We phase out of here. We don't get in a vessel that's made out of 3D materials and we can travel around the realm in those beautiful vessels. And I can't wait to fly a TR-4B. I can't wait to have a go in a flying car. Oh, a bit close to the thing, went out of focus. I can't wait to receive my first replicator and with my consciousness manifest whatever I want. I hope it looks like the one in Narnia what's she called? The Queen of Narnia. Is she the Snow Queen or the Ice Queen? She has this little vial, very ornate little thing, and she just tips a drop, and whatever you want appears in its most magnificent form. And yeah, deatomizer to get rid of it. I once heard something really funny that apparently some of the galactics were saying that they find it really funny on Earth because like we keep manifesting things, but they never go away. We don't de-atomize them. We don't de-manifest them. And they feel like rubbish on the Earth that keeps building up is a really weird concept, right? And it is. It's a concept of doom. It's a concept of a trapped, closed system, which is ultimately going to feed on itself. Feed on itself until it's no more. Okay. So it's a choice. The living, organic, open, free, divine, beautiful way. Or, and I'm sorry to say this, Lucifer, the kind of fake shadow way. I mean, I kind of was thinking yesterday, it's a bit embarrassing, really. I kind of had quite a lot of compassion for these beings who ultimately are trying to get back to God. I mean, they're literally trying to prove that we didn't make a mistake, and that, yeah, and they're trying to create this alternate reality, which is very similar from a 3D perspective to where we really come from. And, oh, it's not actually similar to where we come from. It's just that this closed 3D shadow matrix parallel weird limited reality is trying to look or trying to make us feel like we're ascending or we're progressing or we're evolving with the metaverse and the VR and the augmented whatever, but it's a Frankenstein's monster. The real way is within. The real way is with your vessel. This body is magical. It was created by our creator. Now, whether he's the God or whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, we know there's many levels going all the way back to the pure source, right? And pure source can only be witnessed by extremely pure beings in that frequency. And it's such a high frequency, it exists as purely light and sound, right? And then those emanations have trickled down and become more and more physical and gross, dense manifestations of the original thought of God. All right, it's quite tricky, but we're basically all fractals and you know, manifestations of the source of one wishing to experience itself and see itself in others that are not really others. They're just different parts of itself. It's a bit like a lot of us now are gathering our fragmented selves. So I'm starting to realize I do have many personalities, and that kind of leads into all of the wrongs and the horrors that have been done to mentally ill people and patients who throughout the centuries have been locked up and tortured for their gifts being online. So many came and fell before us, and many of us have been and fallen and come back many times, right? That's why we have crazy memories. Do you like how my cup kind of matches my outfit? Don't plan these things. Right. So yeah, I think I'm kind of coming to the end of the transmission. My little buttercups are still going strong and glowing in the sun. I'm going to go out and get some light coats because it's early morning. And so they'll be gentle. I'll be able to look at the sun and be relaxed. And the optic nerve is connected to a vast web that goes all the way to your tippy fingers. And it's like a white web, and the light travels along the web and innervates all your cells with that beautiful 5D and beyond energy that we need. It's food. That's why I get so upset when the sun isn't shining, because it's so important. It's so important and so beautiful. Helios. Love it. Right. So damashimi, signing out. And I just, want to underline and summarize. Forget all the information. Anything to do with the 3D realm is a distraction. It's time to absolutely go within, solemnly declare that you're going to make every effort to know thyself and, reach out, please. I don't want to be here on my own doing this YouTube thing. Okay. The only reason I'm doing this is to find a tribe, to teach a tribe, to teach a tribe, to teach a tribe and ripple out. Okay. And it's not even teaching, it's just sharing. And we have to do this now. And it's all going to be about healing and learning and playing and building and creating very soon. So people need to be thinking about, if you're in business, if you've got any money, if you are feeling a bit lost, think about creating things the way they were supposed to be. And the way and seek guidance from your elders, because they remember what the weather used to be like, they remember what education should be, and just how you're supposed to basically behave to your fellow human being. All right, open hearts, open minds, and it's going to be fucking amazing. I'm telling you, it is. It already is. We've got a few different levels and layers of frequencies and realities, kind of, right? But we are the light winds, because it's Age of Aquarius, Age of Aquarius. And it's the divine feminine time. So we're going to be moving out of that patriarchal, fusty dusty, freakish, whatever, and going into the true divine masculine, not this old fuddy-duddy nonsense that we've been all suffocating under. And it's going to be a divine union between the masculine and the feminine, equally ruling realms, multiple realms of glory. So yeah, know thyself, know thyself, know thyself. And within the next 18 months, there's going to be more and more people coming forward, and more people in a standing that we are not all from here, and that we are part of a cosmic reality with many infinite species. We say infinite because they're constantly being created as we speak. New planets and universes and solar systems have come into existence. It's exponentially growing, and we need to catch up. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to be traveling through the cosmos. I just can't wait. I'm going to Venus first with Nicola. Oh my God, no. Oh gosh. I can feel this energy of Tesla really wanting to come through. Say hello. Hi. Hello, my name is Nikola Tesla. I reckon he would have a very deep voice. Actually, you might not have heard that. I did something yesterday and I did a really deep voice. I was doing some chanting. Didn't pick it up. My mic. I need to get a proper mic just so you can hear, because I will be doing some Rati inyana a jinyarama anani ishta ariani ma anga. Dere iya naranan shunga mana I aran jinai. But singing, light language singing. And it would be good to do an Ave Maria for everyone because I do love it. Right. I've probably digressed and rambled, but that's okay. It's all codes. Sun's fading a little bit. But the sky is blue and it was meant to be raining again today. Okay. I'm out. I'm signing out. The Galactics are coming. But from in here, not out there. Right. They are kind of out there because as within, so without. But unless you've done the inner work, cleared out the gunk, the veil from the eyes and the ears and the mind and the heart and everything else, and unless you've done a little bit of exercise of your solar plexus and you can instantly manifest a feeling of joy or goosebumpy happiness and overwhelm, unless you can get into that space really quickly, you're not really going to see as much as you could. It's all about your frequency. It's your frequency. We see and hear according to our frequency. What's out there is an absolute direct manifestation of our frequency. So if you're doom scrolling, which I was, totally was. And by the way, Harry, quick shout out because you kind of like told me off a little bit in a chat about, oh, I'm so sick of people who keep going on about the weather. Oh, you manifesting it, little whippersnapper, 25-year-old you. And I was like, who does he think he is, little whippersnapper, 20-something-year-old? And then I thought, yeah, but he's right. And we all need this. We're all here to keep holding each other up because this psychological operation that we've all been through. I mean, look at it. Look how many people fell for it. I mean, actually, they didn't fall for it. There was victims of it because it was so well planned and orchestrated. I mean, God, they really thought they'd won. Oh, well. It's not too late. Everybody's going back to God anyway. It doesn't matter what you've done. You're on a journey home. It's just that you've wandered a bit too far, my loves. You've wandered too far. It's time to come home. Give it up. Signing out. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. My cat literally just appeared again. Look at the window. All right, I love you all. I will be back later. This was just a quick one. I'm coming in after to talk about a bit of the meditation stuff. And well, let's see what comes up. So this is an example of free flow, not planned. And I'm now going to go out and play with my cat. To be out in the sun at 5:55, actually, I'm finishing at 5:55. I do love 5:55. To be out in the sun at this time with my cat, that's 5D, baby. And by the way, when I say 5D, I mean something altogether different, but it's the word we have for now, okay? All right, signing out. See you later.